ten hrát má zaplašeno.
Okay, good morning everybody. Glad to have you here. We're about to start our second day, our workshops. Today we will focus more on user safety, as Sergey mentioned in his first keynote, as we think that the user perspective is sometimes more important than security itself. But please give a warm welcome to Tomáš Soukal with his first presentation about malware detection. Tomáš, it's all yours.
Okay, good morning everyone. I'm glad that you make it. I know it might be a rough morning after yesterday's party, but I see all your faces, so that's great to see. So I'm interested in malware detection. I think this may be a little bit puzzling for some of us because some people oftentimes expect that this talk will be about like antivirus and like detection of malware via hashes or this like older or this like alternative meaning of malware detection. But in terms of Task malware detection, we do a little bit different thing, and it is like protection against malwares that may affect like users on Android devices via like offline scanning the device for threats that might be considered like suspicious apps or malwares. So it's not like a traditional like Avast or like this antivirus security, but it's more like about the SDK that we developed for multiple platforms we support, and this SDK can scan the application and provide you with user and device scoring and social engineering prevention. So if you expected this, please leave this room. If not, I will continue. So, do you know what our malware SDK does? I bet there are people who haven't heard about it yet, so I will recap the current state of malware detection SDK we have, because I have great news. Later in this talk I will introduce malware detection V2, the new version that we just are getting to the market, that will have like outrageous features that you can use right away. So, but recap of the current state of malware detection. Our in-app malware detection is able to help you with detection of suspicious apps like SMS stealers, ransomware, fraudulent apps, spyware, copycats, clipper malware, fake security apps, keyloggers, phishing apps, and more. So it's like a Swiss tool to detect various kinds of malwares on Android. So you may imagine like you need to prevent your SMS OTPs being stolen by some hijacking malware. So that's exactly the use case we provide with the malware detection. So how it works? We have two options how to include this SDK into an application and gain some protection from it. First option, like this is like more visual and easy to introduce it. So you may imagine like you have a banking application, and at the start you need to check the device for malwares, and if something is fishy, you want to warn users. So to implement a warning screen, we don't provide like the UI assets, but we provide you the intelligence to have something to show. So you may imagine this use case where you will be able to secure your users against some malware campaigns, phishing, and social engineering. One of the commonly asked questions is like whether how to handle like false positives, because this detection has like some precision, of course, and you can always decide yourself whether you want to whitelist the given package name or whether you will let user to rule it out. So this handling is already included, this business logic, and overall this traditional malware detection product we have allows you to configure it via blacklists and whitelists. So for blacklists you may choose from package name or hash-based blacklists and permission-based blacklists. So you basically set up your configuration like I don't like these free permissions, as they may suggest the application is SMS stealer, so that trigger it whenever such application is installed. And you can of course do alternative with whitelists to get rid of false positives you might have found. So our results that will come from the malware detector are like quite rich. So you can present the user with like name of the application. In this case, I had some like fake phishing app that was trying to be like some crypto wallet. So you can show package name, application name, installation, store where it come from, icon. So it's easier for user to identify the application, the device, and uninstall it or do something about it. So as I said, configuration, in this case this is configuration on FreeRASP, on RASP Plus, and where the malware detection is configured via so-called magic files is roughly similar. You just provide those lists of blacklisted hashes, package names, permissions, so you can see some example hash, copy example, and under permission to boot, permission internet, and whitelisted installation sources as an example, because it's quite common that a lot of people install application from alternative stores or like some direct APK installs. So you may decide that you think that is okay. We don't do this decision for you. It's up to developers to decide what they want to trigger and what they consider safe. So to main use scenarios, this one display malware warning UI. That's what I showed on the previous slide. That's like to prevent user against being like somehow hacked by. So you decide, you display on start like what can be fishy, and of course you can do it in the background and process this inside your backend, so you can send this intel to your servers and then include it in some user risk scoring. So if you need to know whether this given device is safe for your operation, so you will already know that okay, it seems to be okay, but there are these malwares, so you then may decide what to do next. Maybe warn the user through some third-party channel or do something about it with your support. So you can decide yourself. And now this leads to malware detection v2. Because, as you may have spotted, I haven't told where to gather the malware intelligence. As the traditional antiviruses work through like having enormous little long blacklists or like list of packages or hashes that may be like useless or in your application or too big to store them locally. So we decided not to go this way, and we don't provide such malware intelligence, and it's actually quite hard to collect and update such an enormous evidence list. So we decided to change our direction and find a new way how to work with that. Recently we developed Malware Detection V2. The V2 comes with new like 5 features, and the first of them is malware families. We found like it may be much easier for developers to set up and configure the SDK to trigger distinct threats if we provide it like out of the box with presets. So for this we found analyzed 5 malware families that might be interesting for majority of application owners. And those are like SMS Forwarders and Trojans. So for that, you simply need to enable this malware family by adding read SMS, send SMS, and read from SMS permissions. Sorry. So when you put this together, you right away know that you have high chance of discovering SMS forwarders because majority of them will hold this set of permissions. Similarly for override Trojans, those are applications that are on top of your application, probably stealing like clicking attacks, stealing the maps from the user screen. You can, with high precision, detect this application by including permissions like accessibility service, system alert, and read SMS. For core intercepting Trojans, those are like Trojans that monitor and record banking-related calls. You may detect this application by read phone state, record audio, and read call log. And you may decide, I think the keylogger spyware is especially interesting because it is able to capture keystrokes and like user interactions. So for that, you may include this set like accessibility service, right external storage, and internet. So this is like something I call batteries included. So you can finally use malware detection product out of the box without complex like intelligence gathering and decisions like what you want to detect or how to gather this intelligence. Now we have a list of special features that are aside of malware families. So we have also alternative approach how to detect keyloggers. So this method is again about sniffing your keystrokes. It's kind of malware where the malware is installed. It asks user to grant it this view and control screen permission and view and perform actions permission. So if user is strict into confirming, this kind of malware can then steal any keystrokes from the screen. So for detection of this, you can both use the permission-based malware family approach I presented before, but we also have it as a separate method that uses direct checks into the settings. So I will see in a video in a moment. If user allows and grants these permissions, our application SDK is able to check it was enabled. So this is alternative approach how to detect keyloggers. Now to demonstrate this, I developed a quick application, simple where if UI, you wouldn't do this of course in your application, so it's just for demonstration where I enabled 5 checks you will see during this talk and some other things. So let me zoom in. Okay, here's my application, and sorry. And here's the keylogger malware I made up. So once the malware is started, it asks user to configure it. We'll see it. So you tap this control and allow. So now the keylogger service is enabled and the malware is able to capture everything user does. I demonstrated it just from the setting, from the list of application, that anything what's on the screen will be recorded in this malware. So imagine your user is typing some input like password is something. So imagine this happened in your application, and malware already knows what happened on your screen. So this is the behavior of such kind of malware. Sorry for that, the application was quite rough, so I had to put some dummy values there. And you can see that the testing application could detect this keylogger, that it had accessibility misuse, but that it was able to detect this application. So I will show in this moment what are the rest of the findings. But this keylogger there was exactly the key malware that I showed before. Another common attack vector are remote access tools. You may know TeamViewer or Anydesk, applications that are able to stream your screen to another device. And these are oftentimes used by malicious actors to know what's going on user screen. They just trick user into installing it, and then they are able to see anything that happens on the screen. But in similar way to these two technologies, basically any other remote access malware works. So for that, I will show you how we detect the TeamViewer's quick support application that uses this remote access. So let's see a demo. You can see the quick support application. I had a separate device where I had the master application that was setting up this slave application. And this is the permission that allows on Android to record and cast the screen. So now the attacker is able to see anything on the screen what's going on. Let's wait for some demo values and then please skip it. Okay, and you can see that I can detect quick support and also TeamViewer I have in the background. So this way I can uncover any remote access tools. The third very important feature are SMS Forwarders. For that, these are applications that are, for example, able to read OTP tokens. So if you need to hijack OTP tokens, you can install on victim's device this SMS forwarder that's able to forward SMS, directly through telephony or through internet, of course. And for that, application asks to send and view SMS messages permissions. So let's see demo. I'll help you. again, I implemented SMS malware. And you can see that I was able to detect this SMS stealer application. What's interesting message there is that all these malware samples I use, I was able to implement using some Gemini CLI like in 5 minutes. So it's quite simple to have this kind of malware or risk applications to develop them. Okay, and we are also able to detect screen readers that are able to read the whole content of the screen. So they are somewhere like similar to keyloggers and these remote access tools, but a little bit different technology stack besides. So let's see how it works in action. These screen readers are able to read also, again, whole screen content just by using a different accessibility service. So it's alternative vector. Okay, let's push it forward. By the way, here you can see there is everything once enabled. This screen reader was able to capture all strings on the screen. So this was the settings screen, but it already recorded everything. I just opened this like list of all applications, so it will get recorded in the malware. So I will maybe show it on the next. Yeah. So you can see also it's also able to read all installed application when I opened that screen. So this traditional phone messaging, gallery, camera, etc. Yeah, yet again, it was able to detect such kind of malware application. So, how this malware detection fits into bigger picture in DALSEC? Of course, it's part of the in-app protection suite we provide. So it's for protection of users and warning users against like some threats. We interconnected also into the logging system, so it's also in data system, so you can see what was recorded. It helps with awareness, like there will be in an hour a really interesting talk regarding AI user risk summaries. So this is another part how we want to get this intelligence towards users. And it's also interesting for device state, because one of the talks will be, I think it's the connected talk, will be about the device state, that we want to introduce the capability to observe the security state of given device. And finally, we also maybe plan to include it into DALSEC portal. I think that you already seen DALSEC portal as well, so I will maybe show it here, but no, I won't. So we also plan to have this like visual like insights on the DALSEC portal. So that's it. Are there any questions? I can get back to any slide if you are interested in any specific demo or detail. Okay. Yeah.
What type of user are you expecting to use this app? Like someone more technical or?
It's not app, it's SDK, so you include it into application, and you as application owner decide whether you want to protect your users.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't ship applications which is SDK. So you decide whether it's in your like risk scenario. You have any risk scenario for that you would to protect your users or protect your business against such kind of threat. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you, Tomasz. I really enjoyed the presentation. I must say we must send it to all our customers right away because there are quite new things. And we will continue in 10:45 with our next practical workshop, as Tomasz already mentioned, about device risk scoring with using AI.